You're listening to the SpeakInC.O.A.D podcast, episode 4, part 2. This is C.O.A.D, Conspiracy of a Deadman. I got Chente, the homie, and TBD, Teddy Bear Dynamite. Please enjoy the show. And so you were talking about portals. Do you mind if we transition to that a little bit?
Oh, we can transition all you want, sir.
So I was just watching a video. I'll have to post it in the Discord after these. I'm gonna try to do too after we do a podcast. I'm gonna try to locate the video that I'm talking about.
Okay.
And make sure I have it saved and downloaded, and then I'm gonna post it on the Discord after these links and stuff too. So, for example, there was this guy. I don't know if he was a pastor of a church or who he was, but he was talking about this area. This guy was explaining, I'll give you an idea. It was a castle that they were building up, right?
Okay.
It wasn't even a huge castle. It looked like it was probably, I don't know, 30 feet tall. And then the roof had those spiral cones on each corner and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then it had the rook, on chests, those, the bricks at the top that are kind of staggered and stuff. So this building, it looked like a castle, and it was at the top of this hill, and it was a perfect square. If you looked at it from an aerial perspective, it was a perfect square, and in the middle there was a another bigger square, or a smaller square. Okay, and this building had no kitchen, it had no water. I don't think it had electricity. And I don't even know if it was even around when electricity was started or something. But this place, they ended up making this portal, and it was they long story short, they ended up opening a portal to hell, supposedly. And what they did was they paid all of these workers. These workers were prisoners. They paid them and said, if you help us build this thing, we will grant you your freedom or whatever. So they were helping them build this entire structure. So then that way when the portal opened and anything came out, it wouldn't be able to get beyond those walls because of how tall they were. It might have been taller than 30 feet and stuff.
Okay.
But they said that the first guy, they said that they lowered him down with a rope. They said, we will give you your freedom right now. You don't have to wait until this entire building is completed. They were like, we'll give you freedom right now. If you go down in this hole, if we can lower you down there, and we can slowly work on building, putting bricks and stuff around the hole to build it up, so that way they could seal it and stuff.
Yeah.
And they said that the guy, they pulled him up and he was screaming. And when they pulled him up out of the hole, they said that he aged traumatically. Like a guy that goes to war for 4 years or 5 years, how their face structure changes, how they look. They have more wrinkles. They look like they haven't slept, and their hair is falling out or whatever the case. They said they pulled him out of the hole and he aged like he was at war for 5 years, something like that. So then after that, they sealed the hole, and he was the only one. He screamed the entire way up when they pulled him out of the hole, and then he looked so different that nobody else cared about their freedom. They didn't want to go in that hole.
I'd rather be in jail than go down there and deal with whatever he had to deal with.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of sounds like...
I don't know who that is.
I didn't see it.
She said, breaking news, Lisa Marie Presley died.
How do you not know who Lisa Marie Presley is?
Is that Elvis's daughter? Yes or no?
Yeah, some fucking body from him.
I don't know who that is. If that's his daughter, I know who it is, but I don't remember her name exactly.
You get all the news, huh?
What's that?
So you get all the news.
Yeah, unsolicited, just comes in text wise. I'm not even dropping names. Shut up! I'm not even gonna post this.
Yeah, she's the child.
Clout chasing. No, I'm just kidding.
Lisa Marie Presley suffers cardiac arrest.
We were just talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
So many people just all of a sudden having heart issues and dropping over.
Mm-hmm. But Who's to say what it is?
It's spirits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll speak in code. It rhymes with flaxseed.
Oh.
Do you want flaxseed?
You know what? I'm gonna pass. I'm
You're like,
gonna
I like
pass.
chia seeds, not flaxseed.
Not even sure I like those.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
But to what you were saying, you know, because they opened a portal, which happened to be a hole. One of the theories about black holes is that it can warp time when you go through it. Sometimes you'll go in the past, sometimes you go in the future. Like in the black hole, everything could be moving normal, but outside, everything could be sped up. So I'm wondering, when they lowered him in there and how they said it looked like he aged and he was screaming, I'm wondering if like time was sped up wherever he was and his body was experiencing that until they pulled him out. What do you think, Chente?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that's definitely what happened.
Okay. Yeah, it's like stuff like that is weird because, like you said, it's all unknown. Scientists theorize and give us information, but like again, they're theorizing, so this is their best guess from the knowledge they have, whether we want to believe it or not, and we can make up our own conclusions. And if you have the means, do your own experiments and find out. But it's just always like odd hearing things like that because it's like, how accurate is it? How close to the truth is it?
Mm-hmm. How can you prove it?
Yes, because like again, he said the other prisoners were so scared they weren't willing to risk their freedom to go down the hole. And if you're telling me something's going to age me like that, I'm going to pass. I want to enjoy every bit of moment I have and not speed through it. So
kind of goes back to mythology, Greek mythology, when Hades had that stream of souls. Hercules tried to save his girl. He was in there. I remember in the Disney movie Hercules, he goes in there and he ages as he goes deeper in there.
Yes.
And it's Hades. Hades is hell. So, I mean, you can connect that. Symbolism. But
yeah.
whatever.
Well, not to get off of paranormal things, but mythology is technically kind of paranormal. It's funny how so many different mythologies, Norse, Greek, Hindu, Native American, Aztec, how they have like similar beings, if you want to say that, that have like similar traits and abilities and characteristics and behaviors. They just go by like different names.
Yep. Agree.
And even some of like the spirits, like in one culture it may be called this, it may be called that. That's why I like ghosts. You have ghosts and spirits and I'm trying to think of another term people use. Entities. Specters, yeah. And they're all like the same thing, but different cultures, different people, whether you're average scientists, we all have a different term for it and we've come to the same conclusion. And it just like makes you wonder how tied in they are to each other, even though we think they're talking about different things. It's like the same things from different perspectives.
Wow.
That's just one theory that I got.
It's a hell of a theory.
Yeah. What else you got on this topic, Chente?
Let's see. We talked about portals and all that. I used to be way into, when I was younger, like watching Ghost Adventures and all that stuff.
Yes.
I wanted to like do ghost hunts all the time. Because I thought it was like just so interesting, man. And I had done one at the Birdcage Theater in Tombstone, Arizona.
Okay.
Because I saw him do it on Ghost Adventures. So I was like, yo, doing it. And I grew up like 20 minutes away from Tombstone, Arizona.
Okay.
We used to go there all the time.
And you weren't afraid about taking any spirits with you doing stuff like that?
No, because I was young, dumb, and full of cum. You know, I was like naive. I don't know what I was doing, so I was doing it. And then it wasn't until afterwards where I started like learning more about this stuff, and then listening to different people, where I was like, holy crap! Like, if something would have went off, I could have like brought something home with me. And then watching Ghost Adventures over time, how much they changed, and then how they only really focus on negative stuff now, like only finding demons. That's all they want to find. It makes me believe that they got something attached to all of them.
Well, it goes back to when we talk about predictive programming. So
yeah.
when they do start popping open portals or demons showing themselves, we're numb to it. We're like used to it because we've watched so many movies and shows, whether they be fictional or like Ghost Hunter, where they claim to run into demons and spirits. So it's like, oh yeah, that's nothing new. They've been doing that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Where we should be worried in advance.
Yeah, man, it's crazy stuff because they always be challenging spirits and then channeling them, and then it's almost kind of ridiculous how they like threaten it, but like that's how they get it going. And I don't know. I'm not gonna fuck around and find out. That's for sure.
I'm in agreement with you. I will say I'm a little lax compared to when I was younger, because you hear all these like superstitions about ghosts, like if you have to hold your breath over train tracks, or the spirit of the cemetery will follow you, and different things like that. And it's like, is there merit to that? Was somebody like had an experience and found out how to stop it, and we just like brushed it off as myth? Because again, we don't know anything about the spirit world, the great beyond.
Yeah, man.
Or is it just like, oh, something somebody said and it spread like wildfire, like anything else does, and it just is around, and some people do it and some people don't.
Dude, where I think it comes from a lot is like when you hear about people messing up like Native American burial grounds, how crazy stuff gets. That's what freaks me out.
I think that's why a lot of this weird stuff happens in Ohio. Don't we have quite a few burial grounds where they've put golf courses and businesses and relocated the bodies to other places to make way for
Put-in Bay, bro.
Say that again?
Put-in Bay? The island out there?
Really?
Put-in Bay, and then Kelly's Island has some of the oldest hieroglyphs in Ohio.
Oh, wow.
And then, so those islands were inhabited. So, and then like Put-in Bay is just a party island. They're doing some crazy shit. So anything's going on over there.
Yeah. They get crazy in the summer.
Yeah, man.
And I think there's like a huge snake mound, I think, in Ohio too.
Yeah. Have you guys played Red Dead
Redemption?
Yeah.
1 or 2?
2.
Yeah.
It's one of the landmarks. Have you seen it?
I don't know.
Snake Mound is in there.
I don't think I have.
Well, I mean, it may be in there then. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's in there.
That'd be sick.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. It's in there.
Ohio's in Red Dead? No. So, not to jump back too far, but I had an epiphany.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
So, you know how we were talking about, like, different spirits being, like, not being able to leave? No, leave.
Okay.
So, like, say something sticks to a house or sticks to something, like, a creature-wise. What if these beings were, like, demonic, but, like, were, like, not demonic. Say, for example, remember I remember talking to you guys before about a Bigfoot having special abilities. Yes. And what if we link that to Nephilim? Well, the Nephilim, if they also slept with other beasts, what if there were other, like, other types of abilities that they have? So not just Bigfoot, but, like, what if they were able to transform into stuff? Not so much like a skinwalker, but maybe like those type of animals or things, but like a dogman or a werewolf type of thing, but it's stuck as the dog man. It's stuck as the wolf part. It can't transition back
Back and
because
forth.
it's dead.
It's in that one form.
And what if their hell is to stay in the area that they died in? So then all they can do is haunt that specific area. So like that's why there's weird encounters with Dogman. That's why you feel like it comes back. But like same thing with Bigfoot too. Like what if it's the ghost of these things that no longer live there?
And we're just getting glimpses of when they pass onto our spectral plane, and that's why I like see it walking, and then it goes by the tree, and then it disappears because it was only on our plane for that short period of time.
Yes.
I could believe in that. I could see that happening because, like you said, we don't know much about the spiritual realm / different dimensions, if you want to say another realm is a dimension. And so if something died and is on a different plane than us, that it sometimes crosses over and we can see it.
I don't mean like that. I'm saying like if these beings lived here on our plane, they're stuck in the area where they either died or they lived. Say for example, if Dogman, if it was like a werewolf type issue or whatever, it could be anything. It doesn't matter. I'm just using that for an example. Say that as a man, they would rather live in their home and die in their home, but because they killed other people, they ended up becoming Dogman, and when it died, that was its hell. Is to stay there as Dogman, knowing that it's a man, like the whole spirits.
Yeah.
And the psychology portion of it and the schizophrenia.
Yeah.
What if those things, the demon portion of them took over and turned them into these beings?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Or
does that make it understandable, I guess? But I don't know. I just was thinking like.
So can it be like also they just haunt like a territory, I guess?
Yes, that's why there's so many in Tennessee. They're everywhere. There's like a bunch of different places. Ohio, Pennsylvania. There's Washington for Bigfoots. Yeah. But then if you look for Dogman and stuff, they're in like Tennessee. They're in Virginia or West Virginia, I think. Kentucky, North Carolina. So I don't know. I was just thinking like give it some, I don't know, in a weird way, like some sort of justification of why people only find these specific things. And why there's no video of them. Like, plus, if you're running for your life, you're not filming anything.
Yeah.
I'm not filming shit if I'm running for my life.
If my camera happens to be on in my pocket or something.
Or some Blair Witch stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Got snot running down my nose. I don't know. It's help me. Yeah.
To touch back on what you said, how you said like the Nephilim came down and slept with beasts and sons of man. How earlier we were talking about how some people are more sensitive to the spiritual realm and seeing signs in that. Could that be like blood of Nephilim in their bloodline from like them sleeping with the daughters of man? It slowly gets diluted. So instead of having full abilities, we have psychics or seers or what you want to call it. We have people that can talk to ghosts and see spirits. Could that be like byproduct, if that's the right word, from the angels sleeping with sons of man and that blood still being in down through generations?
Or if certain people were cursed and they say, we curse your entire family. If there's certain curses that connect and go with certain families and stuff, like I've heard of like people say like, oh, I have like alcohol runs bad in my family or whatever, like, oh, I can't drink. Like, I don't even want to drink because alcohol runs bad in my family or whatever the situation is. But then there's other families that will, a part of that family that will like break that curse.
Yes.
They don't get into drugs. They don't get into alcohol. They go to school. They finish high school or whatever. They get a job or they move away or whatever the bad situation that bad juju would have stuck with them if they would have stayed in that situation or stayed in that area or relationship or whatever it could have been. Because they set themselves out of it and they kind of got themselves on a different path, that they're able to break that curse that was put on them.
I love the fact you say that because I used to see things that said, we got to break generational curses. And that puts like more meaning into it because it's like, oh, that's just something people say. But if you notice patterns in your family, in your bloodline where the same things and tendencies keep happening, and you can see, I have to do something different to make sure that doesn't happen. I completely agree with that. People breaking curses and changing their family, changing their own lives for the better than what it was before.
Hmm. Yeah, then sorry I pulled you guys away from the portals. You guys were going deep, and I didn't want you to go and get sucked in.
It was a black hole.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if this is risky to say right now, but I think some people on the spectrum, like some autistic people,
Artistic?
I think they autistic. Did I say artistic? My bad.
No,
Autistic. I think they could see things.
The future. Nah,
like, no, well, maybe, Raven did. I don't know.
I agree with that.
I think they can. Like, they could just see him like normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe they see an angel, or maybe they see fucking Dogman chilling.
Yeah. Them and
but like, and then like they know, like on that last Predator movie, he left the autistic kid alone.
Spoiler alert.
Thought for the day. Life is an echo. What you send out comes back. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. What you see in others exists in you. This is Theodora Dynamite. You just got finished listening to episode 4, part 2. Signing off, you lovely ladies and fellas. Stay safe.
All right, man. Chente the homie. You just got served seconds on this episode, so see ya. Deuce.
Oh, on part deuce. That's how we do it. This is C.O.A.D, Conspiracy of a Deadman. Thank you guys for listening. Stay safe, stay blessed. Part deuce.